Croeso, and welcome to a look at our Weaver Outworld. This small outworld is designed for your Weaver ants to have a suitable and happy environment that's expandable in the future using our modular design. Looking at what you'll have in the box, you'll have the Weaver 2 tower, 2 test tubes for the tower. You'll have a selection of brackets and corner pieces. You'll have the V2 port along with a blanking plate, your screws and your hex key, as well as the acrylic pieces you will require. So let's begin assembling this and we can organize all of the parts you need. So starting with the base section, you'll see that the Weaver 2 just slots firmly and neatly into there. Now the base itself is marked. It's marked very simply so you can understand which orientation is required, and you will see a small engraving just here that says up with an arrow forward. That tells us, as with all of our other products, that this goes on the upper side and the V2 port is going to go here. This is the front of the product. So we find the appropriate piece of acrylic here, and we can get working on that straight away. So we see an engraving on this piece here that says FI. That means the front inside. We can put our V2 port to the back of that with the engraving on the upside that we're working on, and we can loosely screw that in ready for the next step. The next thing to do is to take 4 corner pieces and loosely screw them in. When I say loose, I mean there should be plenty of wiggle. Loosely screw them into all 4 corners of the base. Once I've done that, I'll come back to you. And here we go. All 4 corners are in situ. So remembering where the up and front section was, which was just here, we can now attach the front panel and screw that in nice and loosely just there. I'll do that while I'm with you. If you don't already have one, these hex screwdrivers are amazing. It makes life so much easier than the little Allen keys. There we go. We can do the same for the back. The back, you will notice, has an engraving also. It says BI. Just have a little feel. Where you feel the back side of the engraving is on, that's the inside. So the B means back and the I means inside, and that's exactly where the engraving goes. I'll get this screwed on. We have the front and back on. Now for the sides. Each side, as before, has an engraving on it. One has R, and then I, and then one has LI. So feel the side the engraving is on, and this LI just here, with an arrow pointing that way, means that that points to the front. We know the front is the V2 port, so the left inside goes here, and then the right inside goes with the engraving on the inside and with the arrow pointing to the front. Once we've screwed all of these in, we can really simply get all 4 corner pieces screwed in at the same time. Top tip when screwing these in is to work on the long edges first, the edges that overlap the inner ones. So when we're attaching this corner here, we can get the perfect position we need on it and bring it in nice and snugly to the acrylic. It then creates us some leverage to tighten this other side and make sure that that is flush also. It helps if you hold it in the correct position and then screw in from there. Again, and as always, only screw these until they stop turning. Do not use any electrical tools in any way, because doing so will create a problem where this thread will rip straight through the plastic that holds it and render the thread useless. So please be very careful when tightening. And here we have it, the basic frame for the Weaver 2. Now, it's important that if you're going to clean your fingerprints off, now is the perfect time to do it before we put the lid on. And when you're doing so, please make sure you don't use any alcohol of any kind. Just simple water and a soft microfiber cloth will clear any fingerprints off very easily indeed. The last section to put on here is the lid section. Here's the lid section here, and you will notice that there is also a small engraving with an arrow. The arrow just needs to point to the front, and the engraving needs to be face side up. Once we've screwed this on, we can attach the blanking plate, which can be used for future connections to connect this to a larger Outworld, another Weaver 2, or even our soon-to-come Weaver 6 Outworld. It's very simple to just expand it for your colony, and then you screw on the protective cap just here. So I'll get this done, and then we can have a look at the final product. And here you have it. Slotting in our 2 made-up test tubes just inside here means they can be lowered into the setup, one of those tubes of which can have the colony in it. This is your Weaver 2 Outworld. Now, as with all of our Weaver setups, we recommend you put a thin layer of substrate in the bottom. It will help catch any acid that drips from the ants, and using overhead heating sources is always optimal. This can go straight into your vivarium, and it can provide the perfect habitat to grow your Weaver colony. It's how we've grown so many with success, and it's our little secret tip that's shared with customers in raising their own colonies. In all 4 colours, and we do have substrate options as well. If you have any questions or need any help building yours, please get in touch with us by emailing support@antantics.wales. Thank you very much for watching, and congratulations on your new Weaver ant colony and Outworld.